We've got a David Ornstein bomber, as people would say. Whenever he tweets about Arsenal transfer news, you know it's legit. And he's come out and said that Arsenal hold a firm interest in Viktor Gyokeres. And it's Andrea Berta who's really keen on bringing him to the club. Or, okay, I'm paraphrasing. I think the term was firm admirer. And that he's potentially viewed Gyokeres as a more realistic option than Isak. Now, before I give my full reaction, I just did a video uploaded about 5-6 hours ago talking about Andrea Berta, the announcement, and one of the things that I said in it, I can't believe I said, I wonder whether he would look at someone like Viktor Gyokeres, because if you look at the forward signs Atletico have made over the last 11 years, they've been a little bit more on the nose. You know, striker, bangs goals abroad, and has a big reputation. Atletico have taken a chance and have been willing to invest and spend money, because the Gyokeres will cost money, make no mistake about it. And so I wondered, well, who's out there on the market? I mean, Isak's obvious, but really hard to do. The Seskos, the Ekitikes, whatever, it feels like there's something missing, whereas Gyokeres fit that kind of recruitment strategy to me a little bit more. And there we go. So I'm going to give myself some credit for that one. Literally 6 hours, so you can check that out. It's here on the Goonerverse too. Now, Gyokeres, wow, this is a big one from David Ornstein. He doesn't really come out to say anything unless there's really something to it, unless there's, genuine kind of, genuine reason to believe that Arsenal are seriously looking at a potential deal. Now, I think everyone always thought that the hierarchy of potential work for Arsenal was basically try for an Isak. Very unlikely that happened. So then there's a Sesko, or maybe there's a Cunha. And I always felt that drop from Isak to Cunha Sesko was a big drop. There's a gap there. And I feel like Gyokeres is in the middle of that. Because where you're looking for someone who's a bit more proven in Europe in terms of hitting those big numbers, in terms of goals per season, look what we did against Man City in the Champions League, things like that. In terms of kind of that level, but at a more affordable price, that's what you're talking about with Gyokeres. And I think there's a release clause around £60 million or something. So it seems one that Arsenal could absolutely do. But, you know, firstly, I imagine there'll be a lot of clubs in for him, because this will be the end of his second season. And thirdly, again, is it an outlay that means that Arsenal have to sort of be careful about business they do elsewhere? But I wouldn't think so. This is something I've been warning about with the Isak deal. 120, 130 million pounds is the kind of money that actually stops you going and getting, you know, maybe one or two other positions addressed, because it's so much money. Whereas I actually think, I mean, look at when we signed Declan Rice for 105 million, right? Delighted we signed him. Great signing. But we wanted a forward. We wanted Kudus. So we weren't in a position. We literally know that we weren't in a position financially to do that deal that summer. So in the end, Brighton and West Ham fought it out and he went to West Ham. Gyokeres at 60 to 70 million pounds, even if it went up to 80, I don't think is that kind of transfer market strategy defining signing whereby it's like, you know, oh no, you know, we definitely can't address probably 3, 4, 5 other positions we need to this summer. It's a big summer. Now, let's talk about the player, because I really like the player. Now, am I an expert? No. Will I do a video on the Goonerverse? Absolutely. We'll watch him. We'll do some analysis. I'll tell you what I do know. And we'll break down why Berta's such a big fan of this player, why Arsenal would want him, and why we should all be really excited about the prospect of signing him. But what I would say is actually, he's got that kind of, we saw him against us, and Saliba and Gabriel gave him a great battle. But I actually thought he did well. I actually thought he was a handful. I thought the hold-up play was good. And he's not just a bit of a battering ram because of his size and his frame and his power. He's got power and pace to run in behind. He can attack space really, really well. And he's got a really lethal strike on him, off both feet. He's very happy to kind of unleash it with kind of minimal touches, minimal space, minimal backlift. He's able to, with very kind of little, work a shot and work the goalkeeper. I think that's something Arsenal really need to do, because I think what we've got at the moment in profile of strikers, let's assume all at their best, right? Trossard, Jesus, Havertz. Let's assume all at their best. And no, I'm not going to put Marino in there because he's just doing a job with the injury crisis. But Jesus, you've got someone who, at his best, very good to feet, very good with his kind of ball to feet. I mean, very good sort of back to goal. He can hold off players. He can kind of dart and weave in and out. And he can sort of link up play. And at his best, he gets the best out of a Martinelli and a Saka or whatever. Havertz at his best, I think, really is. Hold-up play can be good in terms of you can go long to him. His pressing's brilliant, as is Jesus'. But really, it's that movement in the box, attacking crosses, being on the end of things. He's he's good at that habit. So we've got to give him credit for is why he was looked at the left day. Trossard, I think, is kind of like what Jesus can do at his best, but not quite as good. Without sort of the strength and hold-up play, it's more knitting play together, giving us almost a second 10 in midfield, and that's it. Gyokeres, I don't think any of them can even remotely try what Gyokeres does. I don't think they have that kind of lethal ball strike. I think Trossard has a very good shot on him, but I'm talking that like power, minimal backlift, bang, it's in the top corner. I'm talking that kind of, I mean, the word is power. He's a very powerful footballer. And I think he really suits this Arsenal team because while Arteta's been in some criticism for perhaps building this Arsenal team a little too physically in the transfer windows recently, post the horrific end to the 22-23 campaign, and maybe we've lacked a little bit of tech. When you watch him, he doesn't lack tech. Certainly not in his kind of, like I said, ball striking and finishing in front of goal and actually how much space he needs. One of the things I've been saying is this Arsenal team need players who are able to, with very kind of little, with very little space. That's why I keep saying Erdegaard, can you get in the space where it's crowded and with little space, try work something? Gyokeres is going to maybe give us that. So this is really, really exciting development. Like I said, when David Ornstein speaks about it, there's really, really something in it. So will Arsenal pursue that? And again, just to build on my thoughts on the Berta thing and why I actually think it's not that surprising. And again, I talked about it in my video that went out earlier, sort of announcing when the Berta sort of stuff was announced. He went to Sporting from Coventry, has been scoring goal after goal. He's powerful. He's probably made for the Premier League in many ways. But basically, let me ask you this. Would Atletico Madrid sign him? Yes, they would. Atletico Madrid the last 10, 11 years would have signed Gyokeres. And might still, by the way. We haven't signed him. But it really feels with the kind of recruitment strategy we've seen from them. And I think it really is that nice balance between, well, you want a proven goal scorer that people get really genuinely excited about, who kind of fits a lot of what we need, but you also don't want to blow your whole budget. This might be a more sensible deal than the Isak one. Who's the better player? I mean, I think Isak, but there will be people who say Gyokeres. There will be people who say Gyokeres is either better suited or the better player. And I wouldn't, for me, it's Isak. I think he's brilliant. But I'm just saying, we're talking about a player who's at a caliber that people will go, no, don't discount this guy. Like, he's a serious, serious nine. And that's really exciting. I guess the question now is, what's next? And will Arsenal sign him? Let's see. I mean, Cunha came out literally today and said he wants to leave Wolves. He literally signed a contract, like, in February or something. So that's interesting. But I think there was a release clause in there, so he could leave in the summer. He wants to leave. Would Arsenal go and do that deal? The thing is, it's still going to cost you 50 million. Minimum, by the way. Probably 60, 70. I'd rather Gyokeres, personally. I would rather, yes, Cunha is brilliant. And yes, you want a bit of Premier League proven quality. I hear all that. But Gyokeres is... There's a potential there. Because of the goals he's been scoring abroad, there's just a potential. And by the way, he's no stranger to English football. You know, he was playing for seasons in Coventry. I think he was part of Brighton's academy, or certainly he was at Brighton at one point as a youngster. And that says a lot, right? Because they developed so many great young players. Or at least their recruitment on that side of things with young players is really, really good. Now, this is one they might have got wrong. Well, it definitely looks like they've got this one wrong. But that's fine. Every club gets something wrong every now and again. But he's used to English football. So that's worth knowing too. But there we go. David Ornstein has said, to sum up, that Arsenal and Berta are real admirers of Gyokeres and might be one that they are going to pursue this summer. That's a big update, people. That's a really big update. It's not a signing, but obviously we didn't expect a sign that to be announced randomly at the end of March. But it's certainly encouraging that Arsenal are looking... They're shopping in the right aisles, is all I'll say. Yeah, there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Gyokeres to Arsenal. Would you do it? How much would you pay? Do you think it will happen? Let me know.